Today, we're going to talk about 5 ingredients that are common in our foods today that are affecting your weight in midlife. I'll tell you what they are, where they're hiding, how they're affecting us, and then I'll give you some easy swaps so that you can actually lose some weight. I remember the day I ordered a salad at the drive through and I ordered vinaigrette because I just thought it was being healthier than ranch, right? And then I looked at the label, and this is what I saw: water, distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup, sugar, and corn syrup solids. I was eating syrup on my salad. I was not eating a healthy dressing at all. So, hi, I'm Kim. I'm your menopause rebel dietitian, helping you do menopause your way so you can feel like yourself again with a rebel spirit. So, number one, sugar. As the food industry started taking fat out of our foods back in the 60s, 70s, when we were told that fat was a terrible thing, they had to find a way to improve the flavor of the foods to replace that flavor, that texture. Now we have sugar everywhere. Sugar is the most addictive ingredient in our food supply. It activates the same dopamine pathways as other addictive substances. And they've actually done studies with rats that have chosen sugar over cocaine. And I know I had a friend tell me she had a harder time giving up sugar than she did cocaine. And sugar is hiding under 60 or more names on the label. So it's not always easy to find. The vinaigrette that I had, it was easy. Corn syrup solids, corn syrup, and sugar there. But you never know what it is. So, where is it hiding at? Obviously, our salad dressings, in our flavored yogurt, protein bars, granola, smoothies, sauces, and condiments. So, why is it affecting your weight? When we eat sugar, our blood sugar rises, the glucose in our sugar. So our body is going to release insulin, which is the key to get the glucose into your cells for energy or storage. But during perimenopause, we become less insulin sensitive. Then we're not absorbing that glucose. So now we have the glucose and the insulin riding around in our blood system all day. And so, because we're trying to use that, we're not actually going to burn fat. It's not getting stored, but we're not burning it either. So, as we eat all day long, your meals, your snacks, drinking a Coke, having a cookie, we're just going to keep that blood glucose level up. We're going to keep shooting insulin in there, and we're just going to be stuck in this little cycle of having the high blood sugar levels, the insulin, and not being able to get into a fat burning stage. First of all, you want to start reading your labels and looking for sugars. And if you want the name list of the names of sugars, check below. I have the Menopause Rebel Eating Guide that's going to have that list of sugars for you. And then you want to start crowding out sugar naturally by building your plate around protein and veggies. And if you want to know more about building your plate, check out my video, How to Eat During Perimenopause. And when the sugar craving does hit, make sure you pair it with protein and fat so that you're not going to have such a sugar spike. Number two is artificial sweeteners. So, what are your artificial sweeteners? First, there's sucralose, which is going to be marketed as Splenda, aspartame, which is equal or NutraSweet, and then acesulfame K, which is Sunnet or Sweet One. And so those are the three big to know because those are the ones that are out there now. And they are marketed to be the healthy swap for sugar, but they're many times sweeter than sugar. So only a small amount is needed to sweeten your product. And they're marketed as a healthy alternative to sugar because they provide sweetness with no extra calories. So, where are they hiding at? Things like your diet and zero sugar sodas, in sugar free protein powders and bars, your low calorie yogurts, and sugar free gum and mints, and then many products that are branded as light or skinny and then some supplements and vitamins. Okay, why is it affecting your weight? And this is a really big one. It'll probably surprise you. Why is it affecting your weight? Because they still influence how your body responds to food. So, some research suggests that certain artificial sweeteners may actually affect your gut microbiome in our digestive system that plays a role in metabolism and appetite regulation. So, when those hormones are not connecting, and those gut bacteria help communicate with the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness, signaling us when we've had enough to eat. And if that signal becomes less effective, then it's just going to make our body harder to recognize when we're full, which is going to lead to overeating. So, even though these artificial sweeteners don't contain sugar, they still can influence how much we consume. And they keep the palate addicted to the sweetness. So the cravings for sweet never actually goes away. Thus swap. What can you do? So start choosing water, sparkling water, herbal teas instead of diet sodas. You can use small amounts of monk fruit sweetener, raw honey, as some other alternatives that can be less disruptive to your system. Just know they still act like a sugar there. Next, number 3, carrageenans and gum. So, what are they? It's a family of ingredients that are used to thicken, stabilize, and create a creamy texture in processed foods. Included are carrageenan, xanthan gum, guar gum, gellan gum, locust bean gum, and cellulose gum. And that's what makes your oat milk or your almond milk or other yogurts and non dairy products feel thick, feel like that milky substance. And even though they sound natural, the carrageenan actually comes from seaweed and the guar gum comes from beans. It's the processing that affects them. So, where is it hiding? Like I said, in your non dairy milk alternatives, dairy free yogurt and cheese, even some protein shakes and bars, salad dressings, coffee creamers, gluten free products. And isn't this the time when we start trying to get rid of the gluten, right? And then low fat products of almost every kind. So, why is it affecting your weight? So, the carrageenan and other gums are added to improve the texture of your foods. They're added as thickeners and stabilizers, but research is suggesting that they may irritate the gut in sensitive individuals. And when that gut becomes irritated, it can contribute to the low grade inflammation and some digestive symptoms. And as they interfere with the gut bacteria, we have the estrobolome, which is a part of our microbiome, but they affect how estrogen is processed. If we're not getting estrogen processed and out of the body, we become what's called an estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance can actually drive weight gain. And the carrageenans and gum can also show up as stubborn bloating, and water retention, which we can mistake for fat. So, the swap. When you are looking at your non dairy milk alternatives, look for a list of 2 to 4 ingredients, such water, your nut seeds, grains, salt, and sometimes vitamins. So, checking it out, just making sure there's no gums in there. Next, number 4 is maltodextrin. And maltodextrin is a processed carbohydrate from starch that's used to thicken foods and improve the texture. So it's in foods like our protein powders, protein bars, meal replacement shakes, soft drinks, seasoned packets. And I know I used a lot of seasoning packets back in the day with my meals, sugar free foods, even our instant oatmeal. Why is it affecting your weight? So it doesn't taste very sweet, but it acts much like sugar in our body and it raises our blood sugar quickly. So we're going back to the higher blood sugar level, shooting the insulin in, our body not being able to absorb the insulin. So we're not getting into that fat burning stage. And it actually spikes our sugar faster than sugar does. So Watching that. What are your swaps? Just looking for whole food snacks rather than the processed foods. Choose water, sparkling water, seltzer water over other products. Lastly, number 5, seed oils. What are they? It's canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, vegetable oils. They're all highly processed oils, and that processing affects them and how they affect our body. But they're cheap, they're shelf stable, and they're in virtually every processed food out there. So, where are they hiding? Like I said, all the prepackaged foods. Restaurants, even your healthy meals at a restaurant could be containing them. Store bought salad dressings, protein bars, granola, roasted nuts, even crackers and chips, and your healthy frozen meals. So, how do they affect you? The seed oils themselves aren't the whole problem. It's just that they're found in many of those ultra processed foods that are very calorie dense, and they're just easy to overeat. The whole bag of chips versus a little bit. And these foods show up in our diet several times through the day. So those calories just all add up without providing much satiety. So the swap, doing whole foods, limiting your processed and packaged foods, cook with the healthy oils that we just talked about, the extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, butter, ghee. Make your own salad dressings. It's pretty easy to whip up a vinaigrette that's healthy. And then when you eat out, just check and ask them what they're making it with, or avoid the foods that might be containing those. And read your labels. Check your labels when you're out shopping. So, today we've talked about the 5 common ingredients that are affecting your weight: sugar, artificial sweeteners, carrageenans and gums, maltodextrin, and seed oils. So, now it's time to start making a few changes. So, start by looking through your pantry and your refrigerator and checking out labels. You don't have to change everything overnight. I like to say phase in to phase out. So, when you run out of a product, just buy something to replace it that is free of those. And when you're grocery shopping, start reading the labels and look for the simple swaps. And remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly right now. It's about starting with one meal, not the whole day, not the whole week, just one meal today. Because when you make one better choice and then another, it starts to add up. And if you'd like help to get started, you can download my free Menopause Rebel nutrition guide, where I'll walk you through some simple ways to build a balanced meal in midlife.